I come from TABP Snacks and Beverages. We started this company as Tanvi Foods. Today we are TABP Snacks and Beverages. I'm pretty sure nobody here would have seen our brands, right? It's called, we have Plunge and we have Gulp, two of our beverage brands. And Tanvi is a snacking brand. I'm very confident nobody has seen, but can anybody prove me wrong? Have you seen Plunge or Gulp anywhere? Right, okay. So I'll just give you some info of how big he was saying that about 85% of the India's market is not visible to us. Like, for instance, even I would say 99, so I would say all of us here in this room today are at least 1% or 2% of India's cream of the cream, right? Anybody who has gone, anybody who earns more than like 30, 40,000, 50,000 rupees per month is actually within the at least 2% of the India's population. So just to give you some numbers of where we think what we are doing. So we just had a sales meet, so we just presented these numbers. So the distance between Kashmir and Kanyakumari is about 3,700 odd kilometers, right? The number of bottles what we manufactured in the last calendar year, 2022 calendar year, if we had started up one on top, it would be 3 times more that amount. Right? So, thank you. Basically, if you take the population, the entire population of United Kingdom, not just Britain, but United Kingdom is about 6 point crores. We sold 7 crore bottles last year. And still, most of us have not seen it. 99% of the people are, even if I want to go and see my bottle somewhere, I have to go to the distributor to find my bottle. So that is how big the consumption market in India is. That is how big instance of an enormously huge market is what we have before us. And if you look at any country, how it has grown, the trajectory of growth, once the per capita income just crosses about $2,500, that is where the entire country starts its really fast growth. And that is exactly where we are today. That opens up huge amount of opportunities for entrepreneurs like us to grow and scale businesses to be $1 billion business very, very easily, right? So we are blessed to be here. Yeah, such a young population, people with lot more disposable incomes. People like, for example, my grandfather would have been really worried about where my next meal is going to come from, right? Today we are not worried about it. Today we are not worried about if we would be able to provide clothing to our kids. We are not worried about that. So those basic things have already been taken care of. We are standing on the shoulders of people who have built that. And if we are not taking us to the next stage, it's entirely our fault and not any other fault, I would say, right? So I was given a topic saying that, okay, since I come from a tier 2 city, I'll just speak a little bit about what are the challenges what we face. I think a lot of our entrepreneurs here today in this room are going to be from tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities rather than tier 1. So I'll just speak about a little bit of challenges what we have, what I thought would, and I would also ask you guys to add what are the challenges what we have and what are the opportunities what we can take from that. So the biggest challenge these are also challenges what I faced, right? The lack of mentors in a tier 2 or tier 3 cities, people who have already been there, done it, right? So what we have seen is we have seen people build it in such a way that it starts as a very small business, goes to a MSME and it stops there. So that is where like 99% of the businesses in India stay. So why cannot they, how many like LMWs have come out of Coimbatore, how many PCOs have come out of Coimbatore? Very, very few. Why can't the next generation build something like that? Because it's due to lack of mentors, right? So when I started the very basic things like, okay, once you found a private limited company, there are extremely few auditors here in Coimbatore who can actually help you form a private limited company, issue shares in your name. And if you go tell even those very few auditors that you're going for a fundraise, you need to bring people in and you have to issue shares to them, they're lost. Because they don't have the knowledge or they have not done it before. Similarly with company secretaries. What are all the compliances, filings you have to do to raise these funds, to raise that? That is completely not there at this point in time in a tier 2, tier 3 city. That is what I faced when I started. Hopefully now it's improved a bit. Second thing, when you started to raise funds, right, you have a lot of, today we know that there are a lot of merchant bankers, investment bankers who help you raise this kind of money. They connect you with VCs and all that people. So when we initially started, when we wanted to see who are these guys, the guys who were introduced me was people who were raising money for mutual funds. Getting people from people's money and investing in mutual funds. Those were the people able to connect to get associated to know how do you approach a VC first, right? So, for instance, your writing emails will not work because they get hundreds of pitches each day. So, how do you create a pitch deck first? What is a pitch deck? How do you project your ideas? So all these are very, very active. Once you start up a business, once you raise your first 2 rounds of funding, it becomes like, this is not a problem. But that's a huge problem for a person for a student or a professional in a tier 2, tier 3 city who has not had this exposure to. Right? So a mentor will help solve all these issues for you. But having and not finding that mentor is a huge challenge in a tier 2 city, because most of these people who have run these kind of businesses sit in Bangalore. See, today there are 3 major hubs in India where VC capital is flooded, right? One is Bangalore, other is Bombay, the next one is NCR region. Can you just give me a figure? What would be the percentage of capital which got deployed in these 3 cities compared to the entire rest of India? Anybody?
And 98%.
It's more than 95% of the capital which went to do these 3 areas, the startups working in these 3 areas alone compared to the tier 2, tier 3 cities. The reason being, it was amazingly said that how do you expose VCs to the knowledge or capital here, right? So that is a big challenge. That is their challenge, right? Because they are, I'm sure the VCs here would appreciate it. Like you have say 8-10 hours of a day, right? Your compliance part for a VC takes at least 3-4 hours of the day, getting your old things done. When you need at least like 25-30 minutes to understand your pitch deck and you look at it. So you hardly can see when your decision making works in the first 3-4 hours in the morning. After that, your decision making just simply fails. If you look at, this would have been not bad. For example, Steve Jobs wore the same dress. Obama had only 2 suits because they had to take so many decisions. They wanted the decision fatigue sets in very, very quickly, right? So they can hardly see 4 or 5 pitches in a day. They are inundated with about, I would say, around 20 pitches each day. How do you understand that? Imagine their pressure. If you miss that deal, and that deal is like the next Google, and you become the laughing stock of your entire commitment. This guy came and gave you the pitch, but you didn't even have time to see it. Right? So that is a huge pressure on them. So the ecosystem helped there. But if you are in Bangalore, you know somebody who knows somebody who gets there, okay, he finds time to look at it. How do you from a tier 2 city go to that stage? That becomes a huge challenge. That is where a mentor or I've just been cross-talking about all this stuff. So these are all some challenges which we face from tier 2 cities, right? So that is the funding part. So how do you access VCs? How do you access angel funds? How do you even know when to raise funds? Do you need, who is there to tell you? You might be in the of all our businesses are our babies. We think they are the best in the world. If you waste say 1.5-2 years of your time building something which the market size is say 10 crores, where would a VC fund you? Right? So how do you find people to tell you this is going to work, this is not going to work, you have to pivot here, you have to change your approach. So that is not available in tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? And most of the VCs would sit in places where most of the funds, 99% of the 95% of the funding happens in these 3 areas. Where would they come and spend time? I'm very, very happy they are spending time in Coimbatore today. So why do they want to come here when they can get all their capital deployed there, right? So that's a big challenge. Next one is talent. So now you have built a business to a little bit of a stage, right? It can be your own strengths which has built it to that stage. To take it to the next stage, you need really good talent. In an IT business, I would say be very good programmers, program managers, UI designers, you take consumer businesses, logistics guys, R&D guys. All these people whom the talent, they also again, since it's basically the ecosystem, So I'm sure you would know how Bangalore got built as a huge tech capital, right? The first seed was done by IISc. Then you had HUL come in. So all these people are cutting edge technology related things. Then slowly other ancillary industries started coming in. People started to work in tech. So this ecosystem is not available here. So for example, why would a person who owns like say who can maybe jump 3 companies if he's in Bangalore in maybe 2 years, why would he come to Coimbatore? How much you have to offer him like to come, make him come to Coimbatore, and would you able to offer that? So that's a big challenge. That is the funding, the talent availability to scale your business to next stage. That's a big challenge here. Next one is incubation. So I'm very happy Syndicate Space is here. So they have, they are one of the very few incubators here. Like if you look at most of the incubation spaces which come into colleges, most of them think of them as providers of plug and play systems. You go there, you give them some money, they give you a desk. But incubation is not that. So how do you the incubation center actually has to help you mitigate all these challenges what you have today, right? How to start with a pitch deck, where is the pitch deck, whom do you have to pitch, is your market right or wrong, have some events like this happening in an incubation center so that whatever incubations thing, how do you, basically they have to help you scale up efforts that you put 1x, there should be a leverage where that effort becomes 10x using their contacts, the networking effect, right? So that kind of an incubation facility, if you look at IIT Powai and IIT Chennai, the incubation facility is there, is not available today here in Coimbatore, in any tier 2 cities, right? So these are some major challenges of where what we all face in a tier 2 city, an entrepreneur from a tier 2 city, why he is not able to scale to a level where he can go out there. Another big challenge is, for example, like if I have to travel today to say a European country, right? It will take me at least like 12 hours before I get there. A person in Bangalore or a Chennai will get a direct flight to go there in 6 hours. That's 6 hours of time saving. If I have to go from here to Pune, I would have to take a connecting flight. There was one connecting flight, it was not there. Today I'm putting up a plant in Orissa. If I have to go to Bhubaneswar and come back, it can never happen in a day. It has to take at least 2 days. So that these kind of infrastructures, like from Bangalore to Bhubaneswar, there is at least 4 flights. Bombay to Delhi, I think every 20 minutes there is a flight. If you miss this flight, you can get on the next. It's like bus service there. You miss this flight, you can get on. So these kind of these are some things which is not very visible challenges what we face. And another bigger challenge, like for more for already an established business family guy coming in, fear of failure. Extremely small environment. Everybody knows everybody. If you they're not appreciative of failures. How much you can learn. If you fail, you will be like, I'm business to go to happiness with the they will not give you a bride or a groom. So all these are something which cannot be put here, but these are all entire world cities, you are anonymous. You go out there, you fail, nobody knows what you are doing. The person here will say, I will buy a Bangalore, that's it, done. So these are all some challenges here. It's a very small community here, right? So that is overcoming that challenge is a huge deal. So these are any other challenges which I missed out? Because
I think, this is absolutely bang on, And I think we should tell Muruga to help from Tamil Matrimony. Separate section, for tier 2 city entrepreneurs. So I think Prabhu was bang on, absolutely practical on how it works in tier 2 cities. I think we are here, we'll try and see how much we can do. All of us, some commitment to do this. That's what I've told the last time also when I'd come. I think we'll continue doing that. We'll at least try little what we can do. Open to questions to Prabhu.
I just have a little bit more. Yeah, sorry. Next slide, yeah. So, sorry about it. I just didn't want to put it all negative out. I just wanted to add some opportunities in here also so that we don't get demotivated. The operational costs in Tier 2 cities are way, way lesser than what you can do it in Tier 1 or Tier 1 cities, right? You can get an office space here for maybe 25,000-30,000. The same side of office space, if you take it in Bangalore, it will cost you more than a lakh or 1.5 lakhs. You for anything, you take your team out for dinner outside, it is going to be 4x, 3x cheaper in Coimbatore than taking them out in Bangalore. You have to, and for you to commute, it's much easier in a Tier 2 city than in a Tier 1 city. All these small costs to hire an office staff, to hire an accountant, all that things becomes much cheaper here in Tier 2 city. Talent is a challenge and it is also a huge opportunity. All right. There are a lot of people today who want to come back from the grind of a Tier 1 city to a Tier 2 city. They are, and people who are crossed like 40, 45, who have been burnt out by that speed, who just want to come back. People who have already earned enough, they want to come back and set base here. Also, another thing is talent is much cheaper. So of course, he might not be a person of the caliber of say 100%, but he will be able to get 70% engineers for the same 100%. Of course, the output is going to be, there is a lot of a gap there, but still you will be able to build at least a minimum viable product or something of that to take it out to the market before you raise VC funds to attract these kind of people. Today, a lot of government supports are coming in for Tier 1, I will not say Tier 1, Tier 2 cities, but Tier 1, Tier 2 states. Like we have started putting up our very first plant in Odisha. Be from Tamil Nadu, because Odisha is offering me a 50% capital subsidy on whatever project what I do. Same thing today, Kerala is wanting to do a lot of fintechs. They want it to attract a lot of fintechs. Kerala is offering a lot of subsidies. So these kind of, if you are in these kind of states, you save a lot of money in getting all this out. So with that, I would just end that. Vincent, we are also very happy. So I've built a business out of a Tier 2 city. Today we are, this year we are 100 crores GMV company. So next year we're looking at a 200 crores GMV. We're growing. Thank you so much. So that got possible because of a lot of things being in Tier 2 city also. The small, whatever I told as negative, because of in a small city helped. But I wanted, when you start up, nobody gives you credit. But because my family was known for 2-3 generations, I was easily able to get suppliers to give me credit so that I could grow. So there are a lot of intangibles like this also. So I'm happy to have addressed you and would be glad to answer any questions you guys have.
So good evening, sir. Actually, probably like I have not seen your product, but I have heard about you. I think you talked about fear of failure when you were saying people criticize, but when people succeed, I think in Tier 2 city or like in Coimbatore, the word of mouth spreading or praising actually goes very far places. Like I think I heard about you from another Prabhu from SPK. He told that he's doing well with the Tanvi Foods. So it's a, like a both opportunity as well as
Absolutely. And since so failure is an orphan, success has many parents.
So I
thank you, and blessed to do that.
Networking, I think, like I have set up the business in Delhi, but still I feel there is a honest, transparent communication, the networking happening in the place like this compared to Delhi or wherever the meet's happening in Bangalore. So I'll start with my question. So I'll tell about the company in the end of the question. So I'm Anita. So the question I ask is like in your speech as well, also in the previous speaker's speech, I think always the quantifiable numbers gets the deserving attention, right? When you talked about GM, 200 crore, people could get the sense of it. So what other, like people always talk about financial metrics. So this question I'm asking also from my product perspective, what other non-financial metric which you consider important for your decision making, not just for presenting in your pitch to the customers or your investors, but also for your operational decision making, like non-financial kind of decision points which you keep track of, or it's always you on top of your dashboard.
Right. So for us, the main metrics is how many bottles of beverage we are able to move. That is the base, beverage or today's snacks or whatever it is that. The intangibles, what you always, I personally look at is, we always look at a long term, right? Like there might be a supplier who is in trouble right now, and he says, I cannot, sir, I'm in trouble, I cannot offer you, say, 30 days credit at this point in time. For some time, I need some advance payments. You have to support him, otherwise that guy is going to die. So, and we have done that. So, because if you don't do that, your ecosystem is gone. In COVID, where I was really worried if a couple of my very good restaurants which I go to eat, if they die, where will I go to eat? Right? So that kind of a thing, if you have to support your partners. Your bottling guys might have some crunch, some financial crunch. At this point in time, we just raise some money. We have cash which is going to be in a current account or any money-making money fund which is going to earn like 1 or 2%, 3% rate of interest. But if you say that, sir, I need 40 lakhs as advance payments and go to buy this machinery, I'm going to give you more throughput. Where some quality parameters are going to, those kind of things, I love to do that. So help them out, and of course, nothing is just numbers for me. In my personal thing. So if there is some distributor, we sell only on cash advance payments. But if he's in real big trouble, if he's a true trouble, we figure out from a company, if you are not able to give it to them, we figure out if we can connect them with some NBFC, we assure them that there is a good paymaster, we will get that payment. We offer extra 1 or 2% discount to that NBFC so that they in turn get that going. So these intangibles have helped us get a very happy place where we still work with people. If it works or doesn't work, it doesn't matter, but we still have to say hi. That is very important for me.
I think it's taking your entire value chain partners along.
Yes.
That's what making your business grow when at the early stage.
Yes.
Like when the brand is not very well known, like a Nestle or a HUL, right? So actually, you're right, sir. So the product which I'm building is also about a Sustali. It's an alley for sustainability. Like I believe, like I work with a lot of MNCs, global companies, but I believed, like going back to your challenges part, like I want to come back to this place. I feel there is a inequality exists between the global brands or bigger companies, whereas the upcoming growing brands. So I'm coming back to this place to give back what I have learned contributing to the bigger businesses. So one is that the Sustali product. So because our introduction also speak about like we are not loud enough to tell about ourselves, right? We are basically humble in nature, majority of us. So that's also a drawback. That's why I use this question to also introduce about my product. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you.
Sounds glad to help. Yeah,
Okay, so brilliant, you covered the point of talent acquisition. We had one more problem. Talent acquisition with a VC funding is totally different than a talent acquisition from a bootstrapped company. How do you convince people to come and work for us? They expect more salary, they expect more stability. We might provide one of that, but we are not sure. So there are a lot of problems, a lot of questions these young folks who are right out of college come and ask us. Basically, they don't want to work in a startup which is just bootstrapped. If it is funded, yeah, they don't mind working for us. But until we crack that, it's chicken first or egg first situation. How did you overtake that in a city like that too?
Yeah, no, that's a huge problem. No doubt about it. And there's no easy solution. What we did was, even from the initial stages, we decided we don't need IIM or IIT guys to solve this problem that we are solving. Right? It's a very, I would say, it's the simplest of businesses. What I'm doing. You sell it 10 rupees beverage. The only thing that you have to take care after you develop the thing is just make sure it runs. See, these kind of people, there are people who are extremely talented, but they might not be very good at communication. Right? They might not even in IT field. If you are not able to communicate in English, it becomes a huge challenge. So there are people who came in from government schools, government college, but they are extremely good in getting your algorithms right, in your thinking process right, great coders. You have to find those kind of people who have some constraints where they cannot go work for Google or Amazon. I'm sure it's going to take a lot more effort, but it's absolutely worth your effort. They're going to be extremely loyal to you. They're going to give you huge throughput at a fractional cost than what a person is going to do. So this is one place where you could find people who have some, like 8 guy out of a 10 would get hired somewhere. But there is a 6th guy in few other places which not be fit in that environment. We just have to find that guy and make him fit to our environment. Thank you. Easier said than done. Very easy for me to say here, but it's very difficult to get it done. Yeah. Thank you. Any other question? Yes, sir. Yeah. Mike.
Is it audible? Yeah, so my name is Farizan and I'm a student entrepreneur currently working on a startup. So the challenges that you showed projected was actually, connecting to my life as a student entrepreneur. It's actually, all those challenges we are facing. And you asked in your startup journey, how did you tackle these challenges? And to me and to this crowd, what do you suggest to tackle these challenges and come up?
Okay, for instance, I just addressed the talent part. Funding part, I was extremely lucky that one of my, it was when I first started earning in 2007, I got in touch with a person called Arun Mukherjee, who was actually at this point in time a share market. He is actually, in fact, younger than me, about 4 years younger than me. But he had cultivated a huge network of his own stock market investors and stuff like that. So when we connected, when he saw me doing, we lost our chapter, I went to US. When I came back, we started doing this business. We connected, and he thought this business might do very well, and he became my kind of brand ambassador. So he used to do a very big share market event, where at that point he asked me to come pitch this industry. And at that point in time, when was the startup thing happening, the journey happening in India, so he asked me to pitch there. So I could raise my, again, as exactly like what Prabhu, who spoke before me, said. We didn't want to immediately go ahead and raise $10 million at the first time. We said, okay, I'll take 2.5 crores, build this, take 3.5 crores, build that, take another 6 crores, build this. Today we have raised 20 crores to build something else. We didn't want to take one huge chunk of money and then go ahead and do that. So those were small amounts of these. Of course, it's not a small amount, it's a big amount. Since we started speaking in millions, it looks a small amount, but raising that amount it actually, in fact, was very helpful. Again, this is kind of an, you can just take it as a small advice also. Don't try to spend on things which is not giving you any revenue at the initial stages, right? Even when we started doing, I come from a business family, I had a huge office, huge setup and all that, I had to completely come out of that. I did not have an office place of my own. I was sitting out of my farmhouse, I was just sitting out of there and operating till we reached 20 crores. And even though we put our first office, I got all my furniture second hand. So all this actually helped mitigate these kind of challenges, because it de-risks you from failure in a much bigger way. Don't add to your top, your daily monthly expenses, basically fixed costs, keep them as low as possible, try to outsource as much as you can. See, I come from a mechanical engineering background, my family business is manufacturing. I outsource my entire manufacturing, today I'm putting my first plant after I hit 100 crores. Right, so try to outsource all that, try to outsource everything what you can, and that would be my small thing.
One more question in that. Like, a lot of people saying that in initial startups, outsourcing is not a better option because you need more funding for that.
No, outsource what? That is the major challenge. So, see, for example, you are not basically an IT company, but you are an IT guy. You want to build your website, right? It's a very small example. A website guy would cost you maybe 25,000-30,000. You said, at 25,000-30,000, I will build the website. You will spend 1.5 months spending time on the website. Your decision making would go for the website. Where to put that color, which color to put, which icon to put where. But that's exactly a waste of time. It would be more valuable to spend that 30,000 to have somebody build that website for you, and you concentrate on your core business, which is maybe something else. So these kind of outsourcing. If you are an IT company, you cannot outsource programming out. If you are an app development company, you cannot build your app outside. So, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Already more than mental
problem, right? Yeah. So this, as I said, this Arun Mukherjee, once he came in, that opened up a huge network. The network what we was very lucky to have. You have people who are like the topmost of the topmost working in that network. So that one mentor, when finding that one mentor of Arun Mukherjee, opened up space to solve many of the problems I could have. Right? So that finding that one mentor is going to be a challenge. Because see, they are also extremely busy people. So when you go ask, I will just say a few things about how to make best use of the mentor. You have to go with very specific questions to them. Tell them, this is my problem, can you solve it for me? Don't go, sir, can you help me? Yeah, what do you want help from? I want to build my business. Okay, what do you want to build? So, I want to build a fintech company. Okay, what do you want? See, give them as specific, see, sir, you find out, sir, I will take 20 minutes of your time every month. And that in that 20 minutes of time, I will come with 3 problems. Can you help me solve that? You make, so the mentor also is very interested to work with you. Don't give them very vague things, because they are also extremely busy people. It's not like it's just busy in the sense, it's not like if you see people who have started building businesses, they become aloof, right? It's not because they get ego or they get things. They basically get decision fatigue. They're running their own businesses. And on top of that, they have 100 problems to solve. You have an extra problem for them to solve. So try to be as concise as possible. So mentor would want to help you, connect you with people. If they think that this guy, if he picks up the phone, if I pick the phone, he's going to talk non-stop for 20 minutes. He'll never pick your phone. So be as precise, as concise. Everybody wants to help. It gives them, it's not because they want to help, it gives them a very good feeling. If I help somebody, it makes me feel very happy. So I want to help. But the time limit, they're very constrained about time. Just try to be very concise, you will find very good people. Thank you.
I have a very specific question. So you are from a beverage company. So even though you have a very good product, many companies, even if they have a very good product, if they are not succeeded at their supply chain, they will be failing.
Absolutely.
So supply chain is one of the key operation record for any companies. So now I see a supply chain of any product, a supply chain of either beverages or any grocery items. It's not completely digitalized. No, companies like Swiggy or Coimbatore or a big customers. I mean, in a B2C setting, supply chain, what all the problem is that they are going to us. They are to the house to you. So in B2B, like a company having a distributor and a retailer, so there is no digitalization. So what kind of wrinkle that you expect from the startup community in digitalizing your supply chain problems?
Absolutely. See, as Prabhu just spoke about Red Bus, right? Yes. Absolutely, that there are a lot of things like that. Today, there are multiple startups working on solving the trucking issue. But nobody till this point in time has been efficient enough to give me a truck. Like there are small travel transport agencies where I call a transport agency. I say these places they send the truck. Today nobody has been able to digitalize it in such a ease of way. Yes. I pick up a phone, at this point in time, thankfully it's not me, but the guys who work for me pick up the phone, tell them I need a truck from Chengapalli to say Bhubaneswar to Vijayawada to Visakhapatnam today to be loaded there. Phone kept. He takes care of all this stuff. Today there is no startup which can provide me that ease of service. If there is that ease of service where I don't even have to pick up the phone, I just have to enter a few things that takes care of all that is going to solve a huge logistics problem for me. That's the supply chain problem that has to be solved. Today, you don't think about booking a bus ticket. Today I cannot book a lorry like that. That's a supply chain problem. If that's because it's extremely physical today. Can somebody go to all these lorry offices and make them enter all the details? We can make it very, very easy for them to enter the details. Maybe take a photograph of the truck which is just standing all there so that he knows where. And that guy has to speak in Tamil and it gets converted into some language which gets captured. So that it makes easier for the travel guy to even just directly map trucks. You don't even have to pick up the phone. If somebody can just give me a solution, say that, okay, there are 10 truck drivers willing to go from this point to that point. It's available. Which truck driver, which tonnage you want to choose. Choose that truck comes. That will make my life much easier. I don't think there is any startup which is doing that, which I am aware of. This is a good supply chain issue which you can solve. Yeah. Ideas are very easy. Execution.
Hey, thanks, Prabhu. Thanks for that really practical session, I would say, Thank you so much.